Hi everyone, I'm Sasha Foo. Tonight we're talking to one of the stars of the movie EST. It's Jacopo Constantini. How did I do with the pronunciation?
Perfect, perfect.
He's an Italian-born actor who's starring in a film called EST, which was produced in Italy, and it is a wonderful film, kind of a road movie about three Italian boys who in 1989 decide to go on a road trip and wind up in communist Hungary and in Romania. Now, it's not the kind of film that many of us probably have seen. It's not a formula film, but Jacopo, it is a film about friendship, and it's a film about young people discovering that people are essentially pretty much alike, even though they have different governments and different food and different cultures. What was your inspiration when you got this role? You thought, how do I relate this to my own experience?
Well, I just got focused on the story. So the story was so involving, was so powerful that I focused on that one. And the director really gave us so much freedom during the shooting of the movie. He wanted us constantly to improvise, to add stuff, to try something different. The director was also the screenwriter, and that helped us so much. And the director is also an actor, so he knew how put us in the best place to do the scene for the best. He also asked us to rehearse and to become real friends.
When did you start this process? I mean, you auditioned for the role. You said there were a couple of auditions before you actually landed the role. When did that begin?
Yeah, it began exactly 1 year before the actual shooting. So the first was an open call where the director just wanted to meet young men, young actors from the area, and I was not from the area because he wanted the accent. So I prepared the accent for like days and days.
Right, hang on a second. Which accent are we talking?
Romagnolo, accent Romagnolo. I'm from Umbria, which is not that far from Romagna. So, for example, this is the accent of Fellini. Fellini is one of the greatest men from Romagna. And I watched a lot of movies, I watched a lot of actors trying to replicate the accent, and I fooled the director. The director didn't ask me where I'm from, and he believed I could play the role.
Jacopo, I'm really impressed. There's a lot of preparation involved there.
Yeah. And now I live in New York, so I am trying my best to fake the American accent. It's going to take much longer than
well, I think the Italian accent is fairly charming, and I think you can open a lot of doors just because you are Italian.
I hope so. I really hope so. Just pass the word to casting directors around.
Let's talk about the movie and the shooting of the movie, because you were shooting in different locations. And the movie also goes through different emotional peaks and valleys. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's comic. What were some of the challenges for you as an actor?
The challenge, actually, we didn't. I mean, we faced like more like the production challenge because still Romania is in development, so there were some objective difficulties, but they were more for the production. So we saw the troops sometimes struggling, especially on the external scene. The director wanted to shoot the main scenes in one of the most dangerous neighbors of Bucharest. And that was hard.
You were afraid for your own security?
No. We were not, because we were well protected, and also, as I said, they were very focused on they treasured us. So they really worked to give us the best environment, the best atmosphere to do our job and to act freely, to enjoy acting. And so really the difficulties were unfortunately after, with the pandemic and with the release of the movie, because after Venice, after the endorsement,
this high of seeing your film at Venice,
and
then the pandemic hit, and then there was this giant pause. You know, everything froze in place.
Yeah.
How did you get through that period of the 2020 and 2021? Because it was difficult for a lot of creatives.
Yes. I thank God my acting coach, my New York acting coach, who is 75, started giving acting class on Zoom. That saved my life because it kept me awake, no? It kept me active. That was very important. And then, yes, I start writing my own things. I start sending material around. I found an agency in New York. That was hard, and thank God I was already living in New York with my partner. That really helped me because I had many friends who couldn't move. Their partner was in the USA. They were in Italy, and they couldn't see each other for a long time.
So are you determined now to try to get an acting career going here in the United States?
I mean, there's something going on also in Italy. I cannot talk right now, but I have some projects in Italy, but I also want to make it in New York and make it in the USA because this is where I want to aim for the big shot. Yeah,
Go for it.
Let's see what happens.
Go for it. I talked to the producer who talked about how this movie is based on his real life experiences when he was in his early 20s and he went on a similar road trip. He talked about the division of Europe at that time, which was the Berlin Wall separated the West from East. It's difficult for Americans who haven't had that kind of political reality to kind of understand what that means. Do you think that American audiences are going to have a challenge in trying to understand some of the concepts in this movie or understand some of the emotion in this movie?
That's a great point. I think, maybe an European background allows you to go a little bit deeper. But I think if you open your eyes, this is a very open movie, a movie that you have to see with an open heart, and then you understand because then it's not about. What is beautiful, what I think the director achieved in this movie is that it's not only about Ceausescu's communism, not about that dictatorship. It could be about every dictatorship, every area, every nation in the world there is not freedom. It's about freedom, it's about borders, it's about opening borders. So there are borders here in San Diego. There's a person who wanted to build a wall here, and maybe that someone can relate with that. I don't know.
So the humanistic message that we are all somewhat similar, despite our differences in culture and language, that we have the same beating hearts.
Yes, the blood is the same color.
What's going on in terms of the future of this film? Do you see it being distributed at through more streaming platforms, or where can people see this film, EST?
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. There's an international vendor who's working on the film in Italy. It's been already. We had plenty of screenings. We are in all major platforms. We won also important awards. Me and Lod and Matteo, we both won the Nastro d'Argento as Best Italian Actors, Best Young Actor.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was exactly 1 year ago.
I need to learn how to say that in Italian. How do I say congratulations in Italian?
Congratulazioni.
Congratulazioni.
Complimenti maybe. Let's start.
Complimente? Complimente. Jacopo Constantini. It's a name that you may be hearing more of in the future, what we hope. Complimente?
Complimenti.
Complimente. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, and best of luck.
My pleasure.
Thank you. That's Jacopo Constantini, one of the stars of the movie EST.